Are you interested in painting furniture, whether it's a piece in your home that you want to redecorate or maybe even start a small business, but you're not sure what things you need to get going? Today we're going to do a beginner's guide to painting furniture and your 10 must-have products that we recommend for starting painting furniture today. If that's something you're interested in, stay tuned here on Wise Out Paint Party. Welcome to the party. I'm Mark DeReamer of Refurbished Gentleman and your creative director for Wise Out Paint. Today, we're going to walk through your 10 must-have products to get started when painting furniture. So kind of a beginner's guide. And we want to do that because we want to ensure if you're just starting out and you're thinking, okay, what can I get from Wise Out that's going to be all the things I'm going to need to start off painting? I picked up a piece on Marketplace or at a yard sale, but what am I going to need? So you can go grab all the things you need at your local retailer or wiseoutpaint.com and get going that day. So we wanted to put together our top 10 anyway, must-have products to get going. And as you can see in front of me, there's no paint because at Wise Out, we really truly believe that prep is a key part of any good finish. Because at the end of the day, you can have a beautiful finish, you could have all these layers and wonderful stuff, but if you didn't do proper prep, you could have issues later. So we truly believe in best practices for prep are going to include these products. And what I'll do is I'll tag a video that I've created that's actually how to prep a piece for painting. And it'll go in more depth of each step and why and all those kind of things. Today, it's just going to be that you need these products, the top 10 must-have products. And we have the first 6 in front of us. And again, no paint yet. This is just prep because it's really just that important. So the first thing you're going to need, water bottles. Now these are spray water bottles I got from my local hardware store. Just anything that you can adjust where you can have a fine mist to a stream. That's what you're looking for. Just depending on how you're spraying it, you want to be able to have that. It's a good size. And what I usually do is I label on the bottle itself what I have in there, and I'll get to that here in a second. Recommend 3. So this is your first thing you're going to need to have. So additionally, you're going to need some blue shop towels. I highly recommend blue shop towels because they're a little stronger. You can utilize them for multiple aspects of what you're going to be doing when you're painting furniture. For this portion of it, it's mainly for the cleaning. So whether you're spraying and wiping off or scuffing and wiping off the dust, you can utilize blue shop towels. And again, they're stronger, so you're not going to have to throw them away as much, but you also don't want to have, you want to have something that you can throw away. So when it does get dirty, you don't have to worry about continuously washing rags or anything like that. This just makes it a lot easier. And it's also a multi-purpose thing because you can use it for other things that you're going to be doing within your shop. Next up is our 220 sanding sponge or block. Highly recommended 220 and highly recommend a sanding sponge or block because it has a little give to it. And this is going to be a part of your prep, your scuffing step. 220 is a great grip for that. The sanding sponge allows you to get down in the cracks and crevices and mush it all different kind of ways. And just holding it is just easier. So just save yourself a little bit rather than get sanding paper and figuring all that. Get you some sanding sponges or blocks. 220. Next up, your microfiber lint-free cloths. This would be to wipe back anything that you scuffed or to utilize for cleaning if you so choose to use a cleaning cloth for the cleaning steps. The big thing I wanted to highlight with this is the microfiber lint-free cloth is what you want. You do not want tack cloths. Tack cloths have beeswax embedded into them and may transfer onto your piece, which then in turn could cause adhesion issues because the beeswax and water-based products are not going to mix well together. So you want to make sure you have these microfiber lint-free cloths for either your cleaning or your dusting after you scuff. Next up is one of our products. It's Green EZ, our cleaning agent. And what this is for you to degrease your piece, to get that ball rolling of just getting it clean, getting the old pledge and fingerprints and all that kind of jazz off of there. And this is something you can find at your local Wiseout retailer or on wiseoutpaint.com. And last but not least, for our cleaning section, our number 6 product that you must have is Denatured Alcohol. For us, again, as a best practice, and I will tag that process for prepping a piece for painting in this video. For best practice, we utilize Denatured Alcohol and water mix. And again, that's why you're gonna need your spray bottles. So we're gonna have a spray bottle for our cleaning agent, our spray bottle for our Denatured Alcohol, and a spray bottle for water for rinsing. And again, all that will be explained in that video. This one is just to give you, okay, what do I need, Mark? I'm at the hardware store, I gotta get some things, check, 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 check. I got all these things I need. Okay, I'm at my local retailer. Now I wanna check out the boxes of what Wiseout products I'm gonna need. Check, 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 check. And I'll have that in the description below, what things that we offer at our local retailers and what things you're probably gonna need to grab at your local hardware store. So next up, we're gonna get to the paints and some other things. So this is 1 through 6. We're gonna do 7 through 10 next, and it's a little bit more of the fun part. All right, so number 7 on our must-have products to start painting furniture is primer. So for us, as you saw in the first 6, prep is a huge part of what we think is the best practice for painting pieces. We know how much work people put into the painting part, and we hate for it if something went wrong because of improper prep. So we had the cleaning, and now we're on to the priming. So number 7 for us is our primer. So what we have is a clear, a white, a gray, and a dark gray primer. And what's good about our primers is it's a 2-for-1. So basically our primer is great for stain elimination. So if you have anything that's like an older wood, you're worried about tans and bleed through and all that kind of stuff, our primer will stop that. And if you have something that's like a high gloss laminate, like IKEA style furniture, but you want to paint it, you can also use our product along with the proper prep to cover up that laminate surface and have you a nice base to start from painting. So for us, we really truly believe having this in your shop is a must-have product. Depending on what you're going to be painting, you might need it for one or the other. Now, if you're painting with chalk synthesis paint, our chalk synthesis paint will stick to most surfaces without the primer. But if you are going to paint with our 1R enamel, our primer is a must. And our primer was made specifically for our paints, so we highly recommend getting our primer, especially if you're going to be painting any of the surfaces I talked about, or you're going to be using our 1R enamel, because the 1R enamel does not have the same adhesion properties as our chalk synthesis paint does, so you're going to need to start with a primed surface. So number 7 on our list of must-have is our Wiseout paint primer. All right, so we're finally on to number 8, our paint. So you're probably thinking the videos labeled must-have items to paint furniture. Why are we just now getting to paint at step 8? Again, just want to reiterate, prep is so important that we felt like those first 7 are the must-have things. So you can get that prep out of the way, so you know when you get to this, that you're just gonna be able to have fun and not have to worry about stains leaking through or the adhesion problems or anything like that. So, number 8. Paint. So what we have for you is 3 different kind of paints. We have our chalk synthesis paint, our 1R enamel, and now our heavy metals gilding paint. So we have 3 different styles for you depending on what you're trying to do. Our chalk synthesis paint is that paint that'll stick to most surfaces without need for a primer. But if you're worried about, tannins or, slick surfaces, you definitely want to prime anyway. And this is a perfect paint for blending and layering and all of the kind of chalk style finishes you might see out there on Pinterest. This is the paint for that. Heavily pigmented. So all of our colors, we have 54 currently with some seasonals added in, that you're really going to get some really bright, beautiful colors for this chalk style paint. And the same applies with our next paint. Our 1R enamel paint, same exact thing. You're going to get these really beautifully pigmented colors, except for this paint is a 1R enamel paint. And this is recommended for all sorts of things, doors, cabinets, any place where you need a little bit tougher something where it's going to you need maybe to get it done a little quicker, I guess, because 1 hour enamel you could paint and an hour later paint again. Hour later it's dry, right? So our 1 hour enamel is great for those things, but I and many others have found that this is really amazing for furniture as well. So it's basically paint and you're done. You paint it, it dries eggshell finish, and it has a built-in top coat, so you're not going to need to do anything else to your piece of furniture. So, but the caveat to that is this is not a chalk style paint, so it's going to not have the same adhesion properties that's built into this paint. So with our 1 hour enamel, you're definitely going to need to prime first. And then last but not least, we have a heavy metals gilding paint option. So if you're used to a gilding wax, this is like that, but in paint form. And it gives a very, heavily pigmented metallic paint that you're probably not used to. We actually have 6 different colors, and this is also something you could use as highlights to a piece, to your hardware, and I've actually painted an entire piece with this before. It's amazing stuff, and this is another one of those things where you can paint, has a built-in top coat, and you can be done. Unless you're going to do it over some high traffic areas, then you're probably going to want to use some top coat over this as well. But those are 3 great options for number 8 on our must-have products to start painting furniture. All right, so number 9 on our must-have products to paint furniture is top coat. So as I mentioned before, if you're using our 1 hour enamel paint, you're not going to need a top coat. Well, what if you use our chalk synthesis paint? Or if you're worried about durability in certain areas where you want a little extra something, you're going to want a top coat. So first and foremost, if you're doing chalk synthesis paint and you want that beautiful matte finish, where there's no sheen and it's really just, that traditional chalk style paint look, where it looks like the paint and you didn't add any top coat to it. If you want that, I would go with the unscented hemp salve. That's what I use probably 90% of the time because I just love that look. The look that what would be a traditional waxed look gives a chalk style paint. And at the end of the day, that's what salve does for me. I was a wax guy a long time ago, found the salve and fell in love. It's the easiest you'll ever put on. The application is buttery smooth, there's no streaking, and like I said, when it dries and cures, it's durable and has this beautiful matte finish. I highly recommend trying this. But if you're used to more of a polyurethane, polyacrylic, and that's what you're accustomed to, or that's what you've heard of, maybe you're looking in lines of our varnish or a 1 hour enamel clear coat. So I mentioned 1 hour enamel and our paints. We also have that same style of the 1 hour enamel in our clear coat, and that comes in different sheens. And then the one right down the middle, the one I know a lot of people use, is our varnish. Both of these are a little bit more durable than the salve, and both have different qualities about them. But you can talk to your local retailer about the specifics of that, and I likely will have more videos to go into more detail about each of these, just to spell it out and show everybody how to use them just a little bit better. But for today, this is number 9 of our must-have to paint furniture. All right, last but not least, number 10 on our must-have items for painting furniture is the brushes. Obviously, right? One thing I didn't get to yet, and I waited for last because I'm kind of a brush nerd. I've tried and tested and played and used so many different brushes. It's crazy. I've tried them all, and one of the main reasons is a lot of what I do is teaching, obviously, right? So I wanted to make sure I brought the best products I could bring to the table, not only for me to paint with, but to share with you. So over the years, I've found that Klingon is the best brush. It is the brush my go-to for pretty much 90% of the painting that I do within my shop. So here at Wyzall, we offer the whole variety of Klingon brushes. So you can contact your local retailer and find out which ones they have available, and they can order whatever you might need. But there's a whole array of them, from this big guy, the B12, to my favorite of all time brushes, the S50. This is what I use for pretty much all of my painting. I love this one. So if you're looking for a recommendation today on which one of the Klingons to get, it's either the S50 or the F50. So these are my 2 main go-to brushes that I use depending on what styles of things I'm doing. This one to paint, this one for primer and top coat. And I also paint with it too, depending on what I'm trying to do, because it has a really great flat spread to it. So I really enjoy that for this one as well. But there's a whole variety of brushes. There's ovals and rounds and flats. So you really have to figure out your style of painting and decide which brushes are best for you. But we also have our own Weisel premium brushes, which is another great option for you to paint with, or what I mainly use them for is our waxing. So, or salving, depending on which one I'm doing at the time. So we actually have furniture waxes for accent waxing. And I have a video on here about that as well, how to accent wax blending and brushing in. And I used our 1.5 inch Weisel premium brush for that. Or if you're top coating with our unscented hemp salve, this palm, 2-inch palm, is my main go-to brush for that. It's got a great, way you can hold it, depending on what you're trying to get into. And when you're getting large areas at a time, especially when you're salving, you really want to have something that's got a wide base that you can really just circle in and brush on and get a large area quickly. So this is a great brush for that. This is my main. I might have 3 or 4 or 5 of these laying around with salve on them from different scents. So this is that. And then we also have, some other different styles depending on what kind of waxing you're doing. So like if I'm using our black walnut hemp oil furniture wax, and I'm just trying to get in some detailed areas, I could use this brush or this brush. We have all different kind of styles for that as well. And you can contact your local retailer and talk through what things you're doing for your project and what brushes you might need. But that's pretty much it. Number 10 is brushes. And there you have it, our top 10 must-have products to start painting furniture today. Our beginner's guide to painting furniture. Things that we really feel like are, if I want to pick up a piece at the garage sale today, I'm going to go home and paint it, this is what you're going to have. And as you saw, a lot of the stuff is prep work. And here at Weisel, we really feel like prep is key. So what I'm going to have is in the description below a list of all of the items that we've talked about today, 1 through 10. Some of the items you're going to be able to find at your local Weisel retailer. Some of the things you're going to have to go to your local hardware store. But again, those items, the spray bottle, the sanding paper, those are kind of things that we really feel like are must-have items to do proper prep. So we wanted to add those in there too, not just throw out all Weisel products at you today. We really wanted to make sure it was a legit, these are the must-have things to do proper prep, to prime, to paint, to top coat, and the brushes you need to do that. So that's what we have for you today. Hopefully this information was helpful. Hopefully the list will help you get started if you're new to painting furniture. And of course, if you're looking for any of our Weisel paint products or just more information about specific brushes, specific colors, which primers to use, contact your local retailer today. I'll have in the links below how to find your local retailer near you. And as always, happy painting.